Most people spend their entire lives trying to be seen. They speak more than they should. They explain themselves to people who never cared. They become available to everyone, hoping that being present will make them valuable. But the world doesn't reward what is always available. It rewards what is difficult to replace. The harsh truth is this: the more common you become, the easier you are to ignore. The more predictable you become, the less people respect you. Scarcity has always been a force of power. Gold is valuable because it is rare. Diamonds are desired because they are difficult to obtain. Even silence becomes powerful because so few people know how to use it. Yet somehow, you were taught to constantly prove yourself, constantly reply, constantly explain, constantly seek approval. That is exactly why so many people overlook you. Machiavelli understood something most people never will. Power does not chase attention. Attention chases power. The strongest person in the room is rarely the loudest. He is the one whose absence changes the atmosphere, the one who can walk away without panic, the one whose value cannot be bought with compliments or manipulated through guilt. Today, you will learn why becoming rarer makes you impossible to ignore. You will stop trying to attract people and start becoming the kind of man they cannot stop thinking about. The first mistake weak men make is believing that availability creates importance. It doesn't. It creates familiarity. And familiarity, when it becomes excessive, slowly destroys respect. If someone can reach you every second of the day, interrupt your focus whenever they want, borrow your time without earning it, they stop seeing you as valuable. They begin seeing you as expected. Human psychology quietly adapts to whatever is always there. Appreciation fades, curiosity disappears, desire weakens, scarcity reverses all of it. The less your life revolves around other people, the more they begin wondering what your life actually revolves around. That question creates mystery. Mystery creates attention. Attention creates influence. This is why the strongest men never chase conversations that have already ended. They never force friendships that have become one-sided. They never beg for replies, invitations, or recognition. They simply return to building themselves. While everyone else keeps refreshing their phones, they sharpen their minds. While others fight to stay included, they quietly become too valuable to ignore. This isn't about pretending to be unavailable. It is about genuinely becoming occupied by something greater than people's opinions. A man obsessed with his mission naturally becomes rare because he has no time to perform for an audience. His silence isn't a strategy. It is a consequence of purpose. That is why people begin noticing him. They sense that his attention cannot be bought cheaply, and anything that cannot be bought easily immediately becomes more valuable. Remember this carefully. Scarcity is not distance for the sake of manipulation. It is the result of building a life so meaningful that constant validation becomes unnecessary. The day you stop making yourself endlessly available is the day people start realizing access to you is a privilege, not a guarantee. If these words already resonate with you, comment below. My value grows in silence. Number 2, become hard to predict. Predictable men are easy to control. Once people know your patterns, your weaknesses, your emotional triggers, your desperate need for attention, they know exactly how to move you. They know when you will reply. They know what words will disturb you. They know which insult will make you defend yourself. They know which compliment will make you soften. And once a person can predict your reaction, they already have power over you. This is why you must become harder to read. Not fake, not dramatic, just disciplined. Let your actions become calm. Let your emotions become guarded. Let your next move belong to you, not to their expectations. The rare man does not explain every silence. He does not announce every plan. He does not reveal every wound. He does not show the world where to strike him. He moves with control. He speaks when words have weight. He disappears when his presence is being taken for granted. He returns stronger, colder, sharper. That is what creates the chase. People are drawn to what they cannot fully understand. They chase the person whose validation is not easy. They chase the person who can walk away without begging to be followed. Machiavellian power begins when you stop being emotionally available for every game people play. When they try to provoke you, you remain still. When they expect weakness, you give silence. When they expect you to chase, you choose your mission. That is when your energy changes. You stop being the man who reacts. You become the man they study. And when people start studying you instead of using you, your power has already begun. Comment below, I move in silence, and my value rises. Number 3, make your attention expensive. Your attention is not a cheap product. Stop giving it to everyone who knocks on the door of your mind. Most people lose power because they treat their focus like it has no price. A message appears, they answer. A person complains, they listen. Someone disrespects them, they react. Someone disappears, they chase. Someone gives them a little affection, they surrender their discipline. This is how men become common, not because they lack talent, not because they lack intelligence, but because their attention is too easy to capture. Understand this clearly. Whoever controls your attention controls your direction. Whoever controls your direction controls your future. And whoever controls your future owns a piece of your life. That is why the rare man protects his focus like a king protects his throne. He does not allow every emotion to enter. He does not allow every person to pull him into their chaos. He does not waste his strongest hours proving his worth to people who bring nothing to his growth. He knows attention is power, so he spends it carefully. When you stop reacting to everything, people begin feeling the difference. They notice that you are no longer emotionally available for their small games. They notice that your silence is not weakness, it is selection. You are selecting where your energy goes. You are selecting who gets access. You are selecting what deserves your response. This is where the law of scarcity becomes dangerous. Because once people feel that your attention is limited, they begin valuing it more. The same person who ignored your constant availability begins wondering why you no longer appear. The same person who took your replies for granted begins checking if you notice them. The same world that overlooked you begins asking where your energy went. But by then you must not return as the old version. You must return as a man with standards, calm, focused, unmoved. You do not punish people with silence. You simply refuse to reward disrespect with access. That is the difference between childish distance and strategic self-respect. A weak man disappears to be missed. A powerful man disappears because he has work to do. And that difference can be felt. When your mission becomes louder than their validation, you become rare without pretending. You no longer need to announce your value. Your discipline speaks. Your absence speaks. Your controlled response speaks. Your refusal to chase speaks. This is how you become the person they cannot easily replace. Not by acting superior, but by becoming unavailable to anything beneath your standard. So from today, do not give your attention to every noise, every insult, every temptation, every emotional trap. Give it to your body. Give it to your mind. Give it to your money. Give it to your future. Because the man who spends his attention wisely becomes expensive to reach. And expensive things are never chased by everyone. They are chased by those who finally understand their worth. Comment below. My attention is expensive. Number 4. Let your absence create weight. A man becomes powerful when his absence starts speaking louder than his presence. Most people fear being forgotten, so they stay too close. They keep texting, they keep checking, they keep showing up where they are not respected. They keep proving they care to people who already know it, but still choose to treat them lightly. This is the trap. The more you fear losing access to someone, the more you lose access to yourself. And once you lose yourself, you become easy to replace. The rare man understands that absence is not emptiness. Absence is pressure. Absence is a message. Absence is the quiet reminder that your energy was never ordinary. When you are always present, people stop measuring your worth. They stop noticing your effort because your effort becomes normal to them. They stop appreciating your replies because your replies become expected. They stop valuing your loyalty because your loyalty has no consequence. This is why presence without standards becomes weakness. You can love people, support people, and stand beside people. But if your presence is unconditional in places that constantly disrespect you, then your kindness becomes cheap. Machiavellian power begins when you understand that access must have value. And value is created not only by what you give, but by what you are willing to remove. A wise man does not argue for respect. He removes the supply. He does not beg people to understand him. He lets distance become the teacher. When people no longer receive your instant replies, your emotional labor, your constant support, your predictable forgiveness, they begin to understand what they were consuming without gratitude. That is why absence creates weight. It turns your presence from something expected into something remembered. It forces people to sit with the silence they created. It makes them feel the space they once ignored. And sometimes, that space explains more than your words ever could. But understand this deeply. Your absence must be backed by growth. If you disappear only to suffer, stalk, wait, and hope they miss you, then you are still mentally chained. You are not rare. You are just hidden. True scarcity means you step back and build. You train, you work. You become sharper, you fix your money, you clean your habits, you strengthen your body, you discipline your mouth, you control your mood. You stop using absence as a performance and start using it as a return to yourself. You are not gone to make them panic. You are gone to become harder to reach, harder to read, and harder to replace. That is when people sense something has changed. They cannot explain it, but they feel it. Your eyes become calmer, your words become fewer, your energy becomes heavier. You no longer enter a room looking for approval. You enter with a quiet self-possession that makes people adjust their tone. You stop explaining your distance because your life is already explaining it. You were not gone to be missed. You were gone to become untouchable. And that is what separates the weak from the powerful. The weak man leaves hoping they chase him. The powerful man leaves because he finally chose himself. If they chase, fine. If they do not, fine. His mission continues either way. This is real freedom. This is cold power. This is the scarcity mindset. You must become the man whose absence is not a threat, but a consequence of disrespect, a consequence of neglect, a consequence of low standards around you, a consequence of people thinking they could keep receiving your energy while giving nothing serious in return. Do not announce this consequence. Do not explain it like a wounded child. Apply it like a disciplined man, quietly, calmly, permanently, if necessary. Let your absence become the boundary they failed to respect when you were present. When access to you becomes conditional on respect, people begin to move differently. Some will hate it, some will test it, some will call you changed. Let them. You did change. You stopped being easy. You stopped being available for confusion. You stopped feeding people who only appeared when they were hungry for your energy. You stopped being the man who stayed just because leaving felt uncomfortable. And once you stop fearing discomfort, you become dangerous. Because now, people cannot control you with guilt. They cannot control you with silence. They cannot control you with temporary affection. They cannot control you with the fear of being alone. Your absence proves that you are no longer addicted to their presence. Never forget this. If people only respect you after you leave, they never respected you properly when you were there. They respected the loss. They respected the silence. They respected the inconvenience of not having you available. That does not always mean you should return. Sometimes their regret is real. Sometimes it is only hunger. Sometimes they miss you because they love you. Sometimes they miss you because they lost comfort, attention, support, and control. A rare man knows the difference. He does not rush back just because someone finally feels the weight of his absence. He watches what they do with that feeling. Do they become better, or do they just become louder? Do they show respect, or do they only show panic? Do they bring change, or do they bring the same pattern with softer words? Your absence should not make you bitter. It should make you better. Do not use distance to punish people. Use it to protect your peace. Use it to rebuild your standards. Use it to remember who you were before you started begging for basic respect. Use it to sharpen the man inside you. When you are away, do not waste that time checking who noticed. Use that time to become noticeable without needing attention. Read, train, build. Pray if you pray, think, plan, save money, improve your body, control your habits, fix the parts of you that made you tolerate less than you deserved. Because if you return unchanged, you will repeat the same cycle. But if you return stronger, even your silence will have authority. From this day forward, never be afraid to step back. Never be afraid to become quiet. Never be afraid to let people feel life without your presence. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can give someone is not your explanation, it is your absence. Let them feel what they ignored. Let them hear the silence they created. Let them understand that your energy is not unlimited, your loyalty is not automatic, and your presence is not guaranteed. Become rare enough that your absence has gravity. Become strong enough that you do not run back to people who only value you when you are gone. Become calm enough to let distance reveal the truth. Comment below. My absence has weight. Number 5. Never let desire make you common. Desire is dangerous when it is not controlled. It makes smart men look foolish. It makes strong men beg. It makes disciplined men break their own rules for one person, one pleasure, one moment of attention. This is why the rare man does not let desire lead him. He studies it. He controls it. He understands that the moment people see what you desperately want, they can use it against you. If they know you crave their approval, they will make you work for it. If they know you fear their absence, they will threaten to leave. If they know you are hungry for attention, they will feed you crumbs and watch you obey. That is how emotional slavery begins. Not with chains, with desire. A man becomes common when his hunger is visible, when he cannot hide his need, when he replies too fast, explains too much, forgives too easily, and lowers his standards just to stay close to something that is already weakening him. You must never let your desire expose your weakness. Want things, but do not worship them. Love people, but do not lose yourself for them. Chase goals, but never chase disrespect. Want success, but never sell your peace for applause. This is where Machiavellian discipline becomes cold and necessary. You must learn to pause before you reach. You must learn to observe before you react. You must learn to ask yourself, is this desire making me stronger, or is it making me easier to control? Because every desire has a price. Some desires build you. Some desires drain you. Some desires turn you into the kind of man you would not respect if you saw him from the outside. The rare man does not run after every temptation. He does not give every attraction power over his mind. He does not let loneliness choose his people. He does not let lust choose his loyalty. He does not let fear choose his decisions. He keeps his center. That is why he becomes difficult to manipulate. People can offer him pleasure, and he still thinks. People can offer him attention, and he still measures the cost. People can walk away, and he still remains standing. This is power. Not because he feels nothing, but because he refuses to be ruled by what he feels. Most people are predictable because their desires are obvious. Show them praise, they bend. Show them beauty, they lose control. Show them money, they betray their values. Show them rejection, they collapse. But when you become a man who cannot be easily moved by desire, the world starts treating you differently. Your calm becomes intimidating. Your self-control becomes attractive. Your standards become a wall that weak people cannot climb. And that wall is what makes you rare. Do not misunderstand scarcity. It is not about acting like you need no one. It is about never needing anyone so badly that you betray yourself. It is about having enough inner structure that no pleasure can make you abandon your mission. Let them wonder why you are not desperate. Let them wonder why you do not chase like the others. Let them wonder why their games no longer work. Your answer must be simple. You have mastered the hunger that once mastered you. From today, do not let desire make you cheap. Do not let emotion make you available. Do not let attraction make you forget your standards. Become the man who wants deeply but chooses wisely. The man who feels temptation but obeys discipline. The man who can walk away even from what he wants because he wants himself more. Comment below, I control my hunger. Number 6, build a life they cannot enter cheaply. A rare man is not rare because he ignores people. He is rare because his life has gates, standards, structure, direction. Most people live like open streets. Anyone can walk in, leave dirt, create noise, waste time, disturb peace, and disappear. Then they wonder why they feel empty. They gave access without requirement. They allowed weak people into strong places. They allowed temporary emotions to make permanent damage. This must end. If you want to become the man they chase, you must first become the man not everyone can reach. Your life must have a price, not money. Discipline, respect, loyalty, maturity. If someone wants access to your time, they must bring peace, value, truth, or growth. If they bring confusion, disrespect, drama, and emotional games, they do not belong near your future. This is not arrogance. This is protection. A kingdom without walls gets invaded. A mind without standards gets controlled. A man without boundaries becomes a tool for other people's needs. You must stop being proud of being available for everyone. That is not kindness when it destroys you. That is weakness wearing a beautiful mask. Machiavellian power begins when you understand that access is influence. Whoever gets close to you can affect your mood, your decisions, your discipline, your confidence, your ambition. So why would you let careless people stand near the controls of your life? Why would you allow someone with no vision to speak into your dreams? Why would you let someone who cannot manage their own emotions disturb your peace? Become selective, become calm, become difficult to enter. Let people earn closeness through consistency, not words. Let them prove character through time, not promises. Let them show respect when they gain nothing from you. That is how you separate real people from hungry visitors. A rare man does not hate people. He simply studies them before trusting them. He watches how they speak when they are angry. He watches how they act when they are denied. He watches how they treat people who cannot benefit them. He watches what they do when he stops giving them everything, because pressure reveals truth, and truth tells you who deserves access. You must build a life so focused that not everyone can fit inside it. Your mornings must belong to discipline. Your nights must belong to reflection. Your energy must belong to your mission. Your circle must be small but solid. Your words must be few but clean. Your promises must be rare but serious. This is how your presence becomes expensive. People will feel that they cannot just walk into your world with empty hands and loud demands. They will feel that your peace is guarded. They will feel that your standards are not decoration. They will feel that you are not the same man who once allowed everything just to avoid being alone. And some people will leave because of it. Let them leave. Their departure is not loss, it is filtration. It is proof that they only valued you when you had no walls. The right people will respect the gate. The wrong people will be offended by it. That is how you know the difference. From today, do not build a life that anyone can enter cheaply. Build a life with direction, silence, strength, and order. Build a life that makes people adjust their behavior before they approach you. Build a life where your peace is protected like treasure. Because the rarer your access becomes, the more powerful your presence feels. Comment below. Access to me is earned. Number 7. Keep mystery around your growth. The moment you explain everything, you become easy to measure. And once people can measure you, they begin believing they can limit you. This is why the rare man does not reveal every step of his transformation. He does not announce every goal. He does not expose every plan. He does not tell the world what he is building before it has become strong enough to stand. Weak men speak too early. They want praise before results. They want applause before discipline. They want people to believe in their future before they have suffered for it. That is why they lose power. They give away the mystery before the outcome arrives. You must become different. Let your growth happen behind closed doors. Let your discipline become private. Let your pain become fuel, not public entertainment. Let your silence create questions that your results will later answer. This is Machiavellian patience. You do not give people a map to your rise. You let them see the empire when it is already built. Understand this. Not everyone who listens to your dreams is happy for you. Some people study your plans so they can weaken them. Some people pretend to support you while quietly hoping you stay the same. Some people only feel comfortable around the version of you they can still underestimate. So stop feeding them details. Stop giving your future to people who have not earned access to your mind. Mystery is protection. Mystery is control. Mystery is the space between who you are now and what they will never see coming. When you become too open, people lose curiosity. When you become too loud, people stop listening. But when you move quietly, improve consistently, and reveal only what is necessary, your presence becomes heavier. People begin wondering what changed. They notice your calm. They notice your distance. They notice your body, your focus, your money, your energy, your refusal to react. But they do not know the full story. And that unknown space makes you powerful. The rare man does not need everyone to understand him. He only needs to understand himself. He does not explain why he left. He does not explain why he stopped chasing. He does not explain why he no longer laughs at weak jokes, accepts cheap treatment, or wastes nights with empty people. His new standards speak for him. His discipline speaks for him. His absence speaks for him. This is how you become impossible to control. You stop making your inner world available for public opinion. You stop letting people vote on your transformation. You stop asking for permission to become stronger. From today, protect your mystery. Speak less about what you are doing. Show less of what you are becoming. Let them feel the change before they understand it. Let them chase the answer while you chase the mission. Because the man who keeps mystery around his growth becomes difficult to predict, difficult to replace, and impossible to ignore. Comment below, my growth is private. Number 8. Stop rewarding people who take you for granted. The fastest way to become common is to keep rewarding people who no longer value your presence. They ignore you and you still return. They disrespect you and you still explain. They disappear and you still wait. They give you half effort and you still offer full loyalty. This is how your value gets trained downward. People do not always treat you according to your worth. Sometimes they treat you according to what you continue to allow. And if you keep giving access after disrespect, you are teaching them that your standards are only words. You are teaching them that your boundaries are decoration. You are teaching them that your absence is temporary, your anger is harmless, and your forgiveness can be taken for granted. This is where a man loses his power without even realizing it. Not in one dramatic moment, not in one betrayal, but slowly. Every time he accepts less than he deserves, every time he returns to a place that already proved it does not respect him, every time he rewards careless behavior with more attention. The rare man does not do this. He watches behavior. He measures consistency. He studies effort. He understands that respect is not proven when things are easy. Respect is proven when someone has the power to take you for granted, but chooses not to. That is the kind of person who deserves closeness, not the one who comes back only when your silence makes them uncomfortable, not the one who misses you only after losing control over you, not the one who values you only when you stop giving. You must become cold enough to recognize patterns, not just apologies. Because apologies are easy, changed behavior is rare. Words can be performed, tears can be used, sweet messages can be written in seconds, but consistent respect cannot be faked for long. Time reveals everything. Pressure reveals everything. Distance reveals everything. When people no longer get the old benefits from you, their true character begins to show. This is where your scarcity becomes a weapon of self-respect. You stop rewarding absence with excitement. You stop rewarding disrespect with instant forgiveness. You stop rewarding manipulation with emotional reactions. You stop giving premium access to people who only bring cheap energy. You do not hate them. You simply downgrade their access, quietly, calmly, without drama. That is power. A weak man announces every boundary because he wants attention for finally having one. A powerful man simply applies the boundary and keeps moving. He does not need to convince people that he changed. He lets the consequences speak. If someone treats him like an option, he removes himself from the list. If someone plays with his peace, he closes the gate. If someone only appears when they need something, he stops being available on command. This is not cruelty. This is order. This is how a man protects his value in a world that will happily consume him if he has no limits. Machiavelli understood that people often respect power only when power has consequences. A standard without consequence is not a standard, it is decoration. So stop decorating your life with rules you never enforce. Stop saying you deserve better while still accepting less. Stop calling yourself rare while acting available to everyone who remembers your name. Your energy must become selective. Your forgiveness must become intelligent. Your time must become guarded. Your loyalty must become earned. If someone wants your warmth, they must respect the fire. If someone wants your presence, they must respect the peace it comes from. If someone wants your loyalty, they must prove they will not abuse it. This is how you separate the sincere from the selfish. The sincere will adjust. The selfish will complain. The sincere will respect your boundary. The selfish will accuse you of changing. The sincere will understand your silence. The selfish will attack your silence because it no longer benefits them. Do not fall for guilt. Guilt is one of the oldest tools used to drag strong people back into weak positions. The moment you stop giving unlimited access, some people will act wounded by the boundary they created. They will say you are cold. They will say you are different. They will remind you of the past. They will bring up every good moment to make you forget the pattern that damaged you. But nostalgia is not evidence of change. Good memories do not erase repeated disrespect. A few soft words do not repair a long history of careless behavior. You must learn to honor what happened, not only what you wished had happened. The rare man does not let one emotional moment rewrite the truth. He remembers clearly. He observes calmly. He decides slowly. He does not punish people. He simply refuses to keep paying the price for their lack of character. When people feel that bad behavior no longer gives them access to your warmth, they begin to understand that your presence has weight. Some will test you. Some will disappear. Some will return with better behavior. Some will reveal that they only liked you when you were easy to use. Let all of it happen. This is filtration. This is the silent cleaning of your life. Not everyone who leaves is a loss. Some departures are protection. Some endings are mercy. Some silences are gifts from life, showing you who was only attached to your usefulness, not your soul. You must become strong enough to let people expose themselves without rushing to fix the connection. Let them show you what they are. Let them show you what they value. Let them show you whether your absence creates reflection or only irritation. From today, stop rewarding people who take you for granted. Stop giving your best energy to those who only appreciate it when it disappears. Stop running back because they finally noticed your silence. Stop reopening doors because loneliness got loud. Stop allowing weak treatment because you are afraid of losing weak connections. Give people access according to their respect. Give people closeness according to their consistency. Give people loyalty according to their character. And never forget this: being missed means nothing if being close to them makes you weak. Being wanted means nothing if being valued is absent. Being chased means nothing if they only chase because they lost control. The goal is not to be chased by careless people. The goal is to become too rare to be handled carelessly. So protect your access. Protect your calm. Protect your standards. Protect the version of you that fought to become stronger. Do not let old emotions drag you back into old cages. Do not let temporary attention make you forget permanent lessons. You are not here to be consumed. You are not here to be used. You are not here to be available every time someone gets bored, lonely, guilty, or curious. You are here to build a life where your presence is earned, your peace is protected, and your value is never handed to people who treat it like nothing. Comment below. My access has consequences. Number 9. Become the prize, not the pursuer. The world changes the moment you stop moving like someone who is trying to be chosen. Most men walk through life with invisible begging in their energy. They pretend to be confident, but their decisions expose them. They chase people who give them uncertainty. They adjust their personality for approval. They over-explain their intentions. They tolerate disrespect because they fear being replaced. They give more effort to people who give less effort back. And then they wonder why they are not desired, respected, or remembered. Listen carefully. No one chases what is already chasing them. No one values what is already sitting at their feet. No one fears losing what has proven it will never leave. This is why you must stop being the pursuer. Not because you become cold for no reason. Not because you act superior. But because you finally understand the psychology of value. The person who is always chasing is silently telling the world, your approval is above my peace. And the moment people feel that, they begin lowering your price. A rare man does not move like that. He does not enter the world hoping to be accepted. He enters with standards. He does not wonder, will they choose me? He wonders, do they deserve access to me? That shift is everything. It changes your posture. It changes your voice. It changes your silence. It changes the way people feel around you. Because when you stop seeking approval, your energy becomes heavier. You no longer laugh just to be liked. You no longer agree just to stay included. You no longer message first just to prove you care. You no longer perform loyalty for people who have not earned it. You become centered. And centered men are rare. Most people are pulled by attention, fear, loneliness, ego, lust, anger, and insecurity. They can be moved with one compliment, broken with one rejection, controlled with one delay. But the prize cannot be controlled by the crowd. The prize decides who comes close. The prize chooses where energy goes. The prize does not panic when someone walks away, because the prize knows its worth does not disappear when someone fails to see it. This is the cold truth. The chase begins when your need ends. People begin feeling your power when they realize you are not emotionally dependent on their response. When they see that you can enjoy them, but survive without them. When they feel that your life continues with or without their approval. That is the energy that creates pursuit. Not neediness, not begging, not constant effort, but independence. A man who is emotionally independent becomes difficult to replace because his presence is not born from hunger, it is born from choice. And when your presence is a choice, not a need, people feel honored to receive it. That is why scarcity works. It forces people to recognize that your attention is not unlimited, your loyalty is not automatic, your patience is not endless, your forgiveness is not free, your presence is not guaranteed. But be careful. Some people misunderstand this and become fake. They pretend not to care while secretly dying for attention. They delay replies while staring at the phone. They act cold while their mind is burning with insecurity. They disappear to manipulate, not to grow. That is not power. That is weakness in costume. Real scarcity does not come from pretending to be busy. It comes from actually building a life that matters. Real mystery does not come from acting distant. It comes from being deeply focused. Real value does not come from ignoring everyone. It comes from becoming so disciplined, so grounded, so clear, and so self-owned that people feel your presence is not easy to earn. This is the difference between games and power. Games are used by people who have no inner value. Power is carried by people who have built themselves so deeply that they no longer need games. Machiavellian wisdom teaches you to understand human nature without becoming a slave to it. People often desire what feels rare. They respect what has boundaries. They remember what they cannot fully possess. They chase what does not collapse under pressure. So if you want to become rare, stop trying to convince people of your worth. Convincing is for sellers. Presence is for kings. Let your life become the evidence. Let your discipline become the proof. Let your restraint become the signal. Let your silence become the filter. You do not need to tell people you are different. Become different until they cannot treat you the same way anymore. When you stop chasing, some people will test you. They will wonder if the old version is still alive. They will send small signals to see if you still run. They will give little attention to see if you still overreact. They will return with half effort to see if you still open the door fully. This is where you must remain strong. Do not let small bait pull you back into old weakness. Do not let a little attention make you forget the disrespect. Do not let loneliness lower your standards. The rare man does not rush back because someone finally noticed his absence. He watches, he measures, he waits. He sees whether their return comes with respect or just curiosity. Become the prize by becoming complete without the chase. Build your body so you do not seek confidence from compliments. Build your mind so you do not seek direction from the crowd. Build your money so you do not beg for security. Build your emotional control so you do not hand your peace to people with dirty hands. Build your solitude so you do not accept weak company just to avoid silence. This is how a man becomes rare, not by being unavailable to everyone, but by being fully available to his own mission first. When your mission becomes your center, people can no longer drag you in every direction. When your standards become real, people can no longer enter without respect. When your self-respect becomes stronger than your desire, people can no longer use desire as a leash. From today, stop asking why they are not choosing you. Ask why you are still standing in places where you have to beg to be chosen. Stop chasing what makes you small. Stop pursuing people who only feel powerful when you are uncertain. Stop running after attention that weakens your discipline. Become so focused, so rare, so self-contained that your absence forces people to confront your value. And if they chase you then, remain calm. Do not become drunk on being wanted. Being chased is not the goal. Being free is the goal. Being respected is the goal. Being untouchable is the goal. The rarest man is not the one everyone wants. It is the one who does not betray himself to be wanted by anyone. Comment below. I am the prize, not the pursuer. Section 10. Become rare enough to be remembered. In the end, the law of scarcity is not about making people chase you. It is about becoming so rooted in yourself that chasing becomes unnecessary. It is about becoming so disciplined that your life no longer depends on who notices you, who claps for you, who replies to you, who chooses you, or who walks away. That is real power, not the kind that screams, not the kind that begs to be seen, the kind that sits quietly inside a man who has finally stopped needing the world to confirm his worth. You become rare when your peace has boundaries. You become rare when your attention has discipline. You become rare when your silence has meaning. You become rare when you stop lowering your value just to stay connected to people who were never connected to your growth. Most men want to be desired, but they do not want to become disciplined. They want respect, but they still tolerate disrespect. They want to be missed, but they keep showing up where they are treated like nothing. They want people to chase them, but they are still chasing approval, comfort, attention, pleasure, and weak connections. This is why they remain common. They want the reward of rarity without paying the price of self-control. But life does not work like that. You cannot become rare while living like everyone else. You cannot become unforgettable while behaving predictably. You cannot become powerful while giving your mind to every noise, your emotions to every person, and your time to every distraction. You must break that pattern. You must become the man whose presence feels earned. The man whose words are not wasted. The man whose absence creates reflection, not confusion. The man whose calm makes people think before they approach. Let people feel that access to you comes with responsibility. Let them understand that your energy is no longer free for drama, games, disrespect, emotional hunger, or empty attention. This is cold power. This is masculine stillness. This is the rare mindset. You do not need to be everywhere. You do not need to answer everyone. You do not need to explain every move. You only need to build yourself so deeply that when people encounter you, they know they are not dealing with an ordinary man. A rare man does not beg to be remembered. He becomes impossible to forget. There is a difference. Begging for memory is weakness. Posting everything, explaining everything, chasing everyone, proving everything, showing every wound, revealing every plan, announcing every transformation. This is the behavior of a man who fears invisibility. But the man with real power is not afraid of being unseen for a season. He knows some growth must happen in silence. Some strength must be built away from the crowd. Some victories must be prepared without witnesses. He does not need the world to watch him becoming dangerous. He simply becomes dangerous, quietly, patiently, relentlessly. Understand this clearly. The more you need attention, the cheaper your presence becomes. But the more you master yourself, the heavier your presence becomes. People feel the difference. They feel when you are hungry for approval. They feel when you are performing confidence. They feel when your silence is fake. They feel when you are pretending not to care while secretly waiting to be chased. That is not rarity. That is insecurity wearing a mask. True rarity is different. True rarity is calm. It is clean. It does not need to prove itself. It does not manipulate. It does not perform. It simply exists with standards so strong that people either rise to meet them or disappear from your life. Let your standards speak. Let your calm speak. Let your discipline speak. Let your life become the proof that you are no longer available to weakness. You do not need to tell people you have changed. Live in a way that makes the old version impossible to find. Stop explaining your growth to people who benefited from your weakness. Stop giving updates to people who only watch to measure if you are still reachable. Stop giving emotional access to people who only appear when they feel your absence. Become silent enough to protect your future. Become focused enough to protect your energy. Become selective enough to protect your peace. This is what Machiavellian wisdom teaches when understood deeply. Human beings do not always value what is good for them. They value what they fear losing. They value what they cannot control. They value what has limits. They value what does not collapse when ignored. They value what cannot be purchased with a little affection, a little praise, or a little guilt. So stop being easy to control. Stop being emotionally cheap. Stop letting people buy your attention with weak signals. Stop letting one message pull you back into old cycles. Stop letting temporary warmth make you forget permanent disrespect. The rare man remembers, not with bitterness, with intelligence. Your rarity must come from inner structure. Your mornings must have direction. Your words must have weight. Your friendships must have quality. Your love must have standards. Your loyalty must have conditions. Your forgiveness must have wisdom. Your time must have value. Your solitude must have purpose. Without structure, you will keep falling back into common behavior. You will keep replying when you should remain silent. You will keep explaining when you should observe. You will keep chasing when you should build. You will keep accepting people back because loneliness feels louder than self-respect. That is why discipline is not optional. Discipline is the wall around your value. And remember this, being rare does not mean being cruel. It does not mean becoming heartless. It does not mean treating people like they are beneath you. That is insecurity. Real rarity is not arrogance. It is alignment. It means your life is aligned with your standards. Your presence is aligned with respect. Your attention is aligned with purpose. Your energy is aligned with growth. You can still be kind. But your kindness will no longer be blind. You can still love. But your love will no longer be desperate. You can still help, but your help will no longer become self-betrayal. You can still care, but you will never again care so much that you stop caring for yourself. This is the final transformation. You stop trying to become wanted and you become worthy of your own respect. You stop trying to be chased and you become committed to your own mission. You stop trying to prove that you are valuable and you start living like a man who already knows it. Then something strange happens. The world begins to respond differently. People sense that you are not moving from hunger anymore. They sense that you do not need to be included. They sense that your peace is not negotiable. They sense that your attention is not unlimited. They sense that your silence is not emptiness, but control. And that is when you become unforgettable. Some people will return, some will chase, some will suddenly notice what they once ignored, some will say they miss the old you, but listen carefully. Do not celebrate being missed by people who only valued you after losing access. Do not become addicted to being chased. That is another trap. The goal is not to become a prisoner of other people's desire. The goal is freedom. The goal is self-command. The goal is to become so complete inside your own life that whether they chase you or not, your direction does not change. If they come with respect, you observe. If they come with games, you remain gone. If they come with words, you wait for behavior. If they come with pressure, you choose peace. The rarest man is not the one everyone wants. It is the one who cannot be bought, rushed, manipulated, guilted, distracted, or replaced. It is the man who has mastered his hunger, the man who has disciplined his attention, the man who has made his absence meaningful, the man who has made his presence valuable, the man who does not need to be loud because his life has weight. Become that man. Become rare in a world full of noise. Become controlled in a world full of reactions. Become focused in a world full of distraction. Become private in a world addicted to exposure. Become strong in a world that rewards weakness. Become the kind of man people remember, not because you begged for space in their mind, but because your energy was too different to forget. From today, stop being everywhere. Stop being easy. Stop being predictable. Stop being emotionally available for people who only bring confusion. Stop rewarding disrespect with access. Stop explaining your silence. Stop chasing what lowers you. Protect your peace like treasure. Protect your time like a weapon. Protect your standards like a throne. Build your mind. Build your body. Build your money. Build your discipline. Build your inner kingdom so strongly that anyone who enters your world knows they are stepping into a place that cannot be handled carelessly. And when you finally become rare, do not use it to punish people. Use it to protect yourself. Do not become rare to manipulate. Become rare to master yourself. Do not become rare so they chase you. Become rare so you never chase what destroys you again. That is the true law of scarcity. The world may chase what is rare, but the rare man is not controlled by the chase. He is controlled by his mission. He is guided by his standards. He is anchored in himself. Comment below. I am rare and I cannot be replaced. Like this video, subscribe to Psygrythm and turn on notifications, because the next lesson may be the one that sharpens you into the man they can no longer control. The most powerful moment in a man's life is when people finally begin chasing him, but he no longer needs to be caught. That is the final proof of transformation. In the beginning, you wanted their attention. You wanted them to notice your effort. You wanted them to value your loyalty. You wanted them to choose you before you had to walk away, but they did not see it. Or maybe they saw it and thought it would always be there. So you changed, not for revenge, not for performance, not to make them suffer. You changed because something inside you finally became tired of being available to people who only understood value after losing it. Now they may return, they may message, they may ask where you went, they may act confused by the distance they created. They may say, "You are different now," as if your growth is some kind of betrayal. Let them say it. You are different. You are not the same man who explained pain to people who caused it. You are not the same man who waited for weak apologies. You are not the same man who lowered his standards because loneliness got loud. You are not the same man who mistook attention for respect. That version of you had to disappear. That version was too reachable, too reactive, too hungry for approval, too willing to be consumed. This new version must not be handed out cheaply. Protect him. Protect the discipline that built him. Protect the silence that healed him. Protect the distance that saved him. Because some people do not return because they love the new you. They return because they lost control over the old you. They miss the access. They miss the comfort. They miss the emotional supply. They miss the version that answered quickly, forgave easily, and stayed through confusion. But the rare man does not mistake curiosity for loyalty. He does not mistake regret for transformation. He does not mistake pursuit for respect. He watches behavior. He studies consistency. He lets time reveal whether they came back for him or only for what he used to give. And this is where you must be cold, not cruel. Cold, clear, stable, untouchable. Do not let old feelings drag you into old patterns. Do not let one soft message erase a season of disrespect. Do not let nostalgia make a prison look like home. People can miss you and still not be ready to respect you. People can chase you and still not deserve access. People can say the right words and still carry the same character. Your job is not to run toward every person who finally recognizes your worth. Your job is to remain loyal to the man you became when nobody was clapping. That is real scarcity. Not disappearing so they chase, becoming so self-owned that their chase no longer controls you. Because if being chased makes you weak again, then you were never free. You only changed the direction of the chain. First, you chased them. Now they chase you. But the chain is still there if your peace depends on their movement. Break it completely. Let them chase if they want. Let them wonder. Let them regret. Let them remember. But you keep walking. Your mission does not stop because someone finally looked back. Your discipline does not pause because someone suddenly wants access. Your future does not wait for people who arrived late to your value. Become the man who cannot be pulled backward by the same hands that once pushed him down. Become the man who can hear an apology without surrendering his standards. Become the man who can receive attention without becoming addicted to it. Become the man who can be missed without returning to places that weakened him. This is the highest level of power. Not anger, not revenge, not ego. Control. You control your response. You control your access. You control your energy. You control the door. Some people will call this pride because they benefited from your lack of self-respect. Some will call this cold because they were comfortable when you were warm without limits. Some will call this arrogance because they cannot enter your life the way they used to. Let them misunderstand. A rare man is not responsible for making careless people comfortable with his boundaries. He is responsible for protecting what he has built. Peace is not public property. Energy is not charity. Loyalty is not a lifetime membership for people who stopped respecting the rules. So let them chase the version they can no longer reach. Let them search for the old doorway and find it sealed. Let them speak to the old memory of you while you continue becoming someone stronger. Let them realize that the person they took for granted has become harder to access, harder to predict, harder to replace. And if they truly come with respect, maturity, and changed behavior, you will know, not because they say it loudly, but because they prove it quietly. Until then, remain still, remain selective, remain rare. Your final victory is not making them want you. Your final victory is wanting yourself enough to never abandon your standards again. The world can chase you, praise you, miss you, or misunderstand you. None of it should move your throne. You are no longer a man begging for a seat in someone else's life. You are building your own kingdom, and in that kingdom, access is earned, peace is protected, loyalty is tested, and weakness is not allowed to rule. Comment below. They chase what they can no longer reach. And remember this, the rarest man is not the one who gets chased. It is the one who keeps walking even when they finally start running after him.